Today, I'm going to be interviewing Shewan Ofwegu. Shewan is a very spirited entrepreneur, and she's very passionate about teaching other entrepreneurs how to scale their businesses using Facebook ads. She's also the founder of Sharpstone Jewelry Store, a business that she started with $2.50 and was able to scale to 5 figures every month, leveraging on Facebook ads. So I thought Shewan will come here and share a few details of how to use Facebook ads and how to scale your business using the same. I hope you enjoyed this interview.
Okay.
Hi, Sharon. It's a pleasure to have you here. How are you doing?
I am doing great, and it's great to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me to this platform. I'm honored, actually.
Pleasure's mine. So I want to talk about your journey, really, because, well, not too much information, but I want to talk about your journey, how you got to where you are. And I find it very interesting to hear the process of how somebody got to who they are right now. So we're going to go back in time.
How back in time? How far back in time?
So Sharon, I want to know how you came to be who you are. I remember you sharing your story saying you were a medical professional, and that is just mind-blowing to think that you started out as a medical person, working
Yeah.
in the hospital, and then today you are coaching people on how to use Facebook ads. So how did that happen?
Well, I grew up wanting to be a medical person. My dad is a doctor. My mom was a doctor. So I had both parents in the medical field. That was all I ever knew. We only knew how to be science students, if you know what I mean. We didn't know any other world. I could read doctors' prescriptions as early as 10. It was my world. It was the world I grew up in. My dad owns a private practice. So many times I was growing up walking through a hospital. So I didn't see myself anywhere else. And when the time came around, I said, okay, I wanted to be a doctor, like everyone else. My sister, my elder sister was already in the field. So I just felt that was what I wanted to do. And I really did. I wanted to help people. I love helping people. And so I got into the field. And once I did, I remember my first year in nursing because I decided not to go for medicine anymore. No, there were no issues. I just felt it was a bit too long. It's 7 years for what? I didn't see any reason why I had to spend so much time in school. And I remember in my first year in nursing, I realized I was struggling with subjects. Right from secondary school, I was struggling with a lot of subjects. I remember having to cram a lot of things. It was never coming to me naturally. Physics, chemistry, it never came to me naturally. I had to cram my way through exams. I had to cram my way through to get my school leaving certificate. So it started again.
So you started to ask yourself if this is what you really wanted to do.
Yes. I started to ask myself, is this what I really wanted to do? Yes, I wanted to help people. And that single purpose kept driving me through school. I kept on passing my exams. I never had to resit any single exam.
You weren't.
That's because I was used to, yes, I was used to the language anyway. I was used to names of drugs. I was used to what they were used for. I was used to diagnosis because it's something I grew up with. So I never had to resit any exam. And so it was a struggle. I wasn't the best in class, but I was never failing. I was never coming below par, never. And so I started to ask myself, okay, maybe I should just keep going with this. And I kept going with this until I finished school. I started working at a teaching hospital, Lagos University Teaching Hospital, and I was there for a few years. And during that time, I just kept on, I was out of place. It was as if you're trying to put a square peg into a circle. whole. Yes, I was helping people. I loved listening to people. I loved caring for people. But it was as if the method I was using was wrong. And one day I just got up and said, you know what? I'm going to do business. I remember managing my dad's private practice for about a year. I was doing the medical practice during the day, and at night I'll look at the business side of the hospital, and I'll just take a look at things, and somehow it will come to me how to improve the finance of the hospital, how to sort out things, where money was going out, how to save money. And within that year, I were able to expand. The profits doubled. We had an extra wing. We built an extra wing to the hospital, and I just knew this was it. I found myself working extra hours and enjoying it. So I knew it was it. I left again thinking maybe there was something I could look for, maybe the environment. I just kept on moving. And I started working at the private wing of Lagos University Teaching Hospital. And that's one of the best places you can work as a nurse. So I felt, okay, maybe this is where I'll get my fulfillment from. And it just didn't work. It just didn't work. So I told my mom, and I said, you know what, Mom, I need to move out of nursing. I need to do business. I need to be a business manager. And there was this startup internet company.
Keep going.
There was this startup internet company that needed workers. And I was told my mom said, okay, you know what, let's just try out that place. Drop your CV. Now, there was nothing on my CV aside nursing, 5 years of nursing experience. But I just took it and I dropped my CV. And then I was called for an interview. And I remember being asked, what can you do for my company? And I said, I know I'm good. I won't disappoint you. I know I'm good. And then he was like, that's not enough. And I said, I know I'm good. And he said, I'm going to try you out for 3 months. And if you deliver, then I'll put you on a salary. And I had a thriving job as a nurse. And because I was meeting lots of people at my workplace, my tip was 5 times more than my income. And I was moving down to somewhere where I had nothing. And I did it. I made the move. And so I was a nurse working with no salary at an internet company. So I work during the day, study at night. Work during the day, study at night, because I'll be given tasks I know nothing about. So I'll go on the internet and search how to write on Excel. And I start learning. Because it wasn't my field. It was all new to me. How to use, I think at that time there was Twitter, there was Facebook, but Instagram wasn't in then. So I had to learn how to do everything overnight. And after 3 months, I was promoted. Wow. I became the administrative manager. And I started to learn from there. I started to learn how to manage the business. We deployed a lot of projects. We worked with CBN, that's the central bank in Nigeria. We worked with Google. We did a lot of presentations all around the world, internationally. And I'll just keep, okay, how do I do this? I know it's not drugs, but it's something I can learn. So I just approached everything with the can-do. With the can-do spirit. I kept on telling myself, there's nothing you cannot do. There's nothing you cannot learn. So when I hear someone asks me, can you do this? And I'm like, no, but I can learn fast. And wow. I will learn fast. So that just kept on happening to me. And a few years after, I left and I went to manage a hospital. But how I went into online business.
Hold on.
We've not gotten here yet.
So I want to take you.
Okay.
I want to take you step by step, because obviously I know your story.
All right.
And I want watching to also get the depth of change that you had to go through. Because for you to become a nurse, it means that you had been on that line. You had been in that lane for at least 15 years to be a nurse.
Yes.
Am I right? And so when you say everything that you knew was in that field, I don't think people understand that it's so difficult. I think you know, people are used to hearing people say, oh, I switched careers or I changed jobs, and they don't understand that the medical field is quite different. The only place to go in
Very.
the medical field is deeper. You do not go in
Yes.
and come
You
out.
don't leave.
You do not leave.
Yes.
Like I know only one person who that I can say was a medical doctor, qualified as a doctor, and then decided to go and work in the bank. But that's just one person that I've ever met. So your story is incredible. Just the fact that you had the guts. What gave you the confidence to call it quits, despite everybody knowing you as a nurse? Like you've always wanted this. So what? How did you break out?
For me, it was a struggle because nothing around me made me know that I was going to be in business in any way. Everyone who knew me, my family members would tell me, no, you're not structured for business. There is no way on earth you can own your own business. I was told that so many times. I was told there's no way you can manage money. I was told that many times. My family members, they say, we've seen you grow up. It's not your thing. Just get a job that you are good at. And you're good at nursing. You've never failed any exam before. You've never had issues before. You went through and scaled beautifully. So why do you want to leave? I was working in a very good place, the private wing of a teaching hospital. It was the best experience ever. You know, it was as if I was in Grey's Anatomy when I was working there. You know, your patients land in a helicopter, you know, you're treating the best of people. It was an experience. You know, it's the tips, the people, the network. It was everything. And so it was as if I had everything and I was still not satisfied. Every time I go to work, I would dread, there'll be this fear. I would dread going to work. Sometimes I will come back from work. I will have lots of experiences. I will come back from work and I'll just hold my mom and I'll begin to cry. And I started to have emotional meltdowns. Many times I wouldn't be able to eat, or then I would start to eat a lot. It was very depressing for me. I just woke up and said, look, life does not continue like this. And there's one thing one outlook I have in life. I make the decision, I make the move. I want to know that I'll prefer making a mistake and then retracing my steps than not moving at all.
Absolutely.
So I would always want to make the move. And when I make the move, in every field in my life, if I just realize I've made the mistake, I retrace my steps. I feel better than if I do not make any move at all. And so I just said, no, you know what, this is it.
Okay.
So I just made the move.
Fantastic. First of all, let me even say congratulations that you move and you didn't fall flat on your face. Because I know that there are, you know, a lot of people who are very dissatisfied in their jobs. I also experienced it, and you know that story as well, where you go to work because there's a certain expectation on you that you have studied for this, you have prepared for this career, and then you get into it and you realize this is not what I really want. I'm unhappy, I'm depressed, I just want to get out.
Yes.
The same people around you, because they love you, will keep trying to encourage you to stay as if something is going to get better. And then, you know, if you then have the confidence to leave and something goes wrong, you have all these people to answer to. Like, it feels like you have all these people to answer to. The truth is you don't actually, you know, you have only yourself to answer to. But the point is, all these people are there waiting for you. I told you so. Now we know how you left nursing. And how you found yourself working. But I want to take you to Sharpstone Jewelry. What happened? How did you go from working to now owning a jewelry business?
Well, you mentioned something and then you said, congratulations for not falling flat on my face. Sharpstone was birthed because I fell flat on my face. So let me tell you. So I was working as a business manager. In my life, I never knew I was going to own a business. So I just kept on moving from, industry to industry, helping people to manage their businesses. And because now I had a background of working with an internet company, I was good with online stuff. But I remember at this time I was managing a hospital. It wasn't really paying much. So most times before, once my salary is paid, everything is going to pay that. And the money it wasn't much. It wasn't enough. And I was getting married to the love of my life. And I knew this couldn't continue. And we didn't have any money, honestly. He was not working. My job was not earning up to $200 at that time. So we had nothing to save. And then because we had a little bit of tribal differences, for people who live in Africa, you understand there was a tribal, I was getting married to someone from another tribe. And so we had some family clashes. And so we were on our own for the entire wedding. We didn't have support from family. I remember on our wedding day, we didn't have a house to live at. We were at the wedding reception and we still didn't have a home to stay. And then right after we got married, miraculously, somebody gifted us $1,000 and we used that to get our first home. It wasn't anything. There were no floors. We had no furniture. We had to do a lot of compulsory fast, if you know what I mean. And the place where we were able to get was very far from where I worked. And it was so far that it was above the amount I was earning. So if I earned anything, I would have to spend 100% on transportation and still borrow to make it up. So I realized it wasn't worth it. And I had to go to my boss. My boss was very good to me. And I had to explain to him that I can't cope anymore because of the distance and I'll have to leave. And he said, okay. And so I was in my house. My husband didn't have a job and I didn't have a job as well. No income whatsoever. And we were stuck. And that's how Sharpstone started. So I was flat on my face, no income, no support from my family, nothing. And I've actually not shared this story before, so this is my first time of sharing this. And I went online on the internet. This was 2014, and I Googled how to sell online. Now, one of the reasons I started selling online was because I was selectively shy. I'm not used to direct marketing. I still am not used to direct marketing. So I needed a form of selling where I didn't have to be involved, where people didn't have to know me or know my person to buy from me. I wanted to hide my face, but still sell. And the online platform did a good job at doing that. Nobody had to know that I was just starting out. So I branded my Facebook page and I started picking little items, stud earrings, and I put a picture on it on the e-commerce platform. I actually used an e-commerce platform that was available in my country at that time, Jumia. And I just put it up. It's like Amazon. And I just put it up. And somebody ordered for it and I didn't have it. I just had the picture of it. So I went to my husband. I went to my husband and I said, honey, I just got an order for a product I don't have. And then he brought out the money and gave it to me. And that was the last he had, but he gave it to me. And I took it and I went to get the product. I supplied it. The next day, someone ordered. I went again until at the end of that month, I had sold 57 pieces. And I was like, amazing. Let's add some other products. And I started to add some other products. And that's how Sharpstone was born. Okay, with just $2.50.
Hold on, I want to ask you something. So I want to understand this story you just told me about how you started selling jewelry. So at the time you were putting the picture of the product, you didn't have the product.
I didn't have the product.
Okay.
I didn't even think the product would sell.
Okay,
But
so
I just wanted to try out something because I was desperate.
hold on, I'm going somewhere with this. So you found somebody selling this product on Jumia, I suppose.
Well, I saw no one selling the product actually at that time. Nobody else was selling that product. It was just simple stud earrings.
How did you
Every
get
other person had lovely designs. I just Googled it. I just Googled it and I got something simple.
so you took the
Every
picture from the internet and put it on
yes,
Facebook? And
yes.
then when
And I
it
just put it
sold,
up. Yes.
and then when it sold, how did you get the product? You then went to the market to look for the product?
Exactly, because I had little roots in the jewelry business actually. Personal suppliers. My mom was into a little bit of jewelry. My grandmother was into a little bit of jewelry. So I just went back to the suppliers and I said, "Do you have a picture of this?" And I was good. It was just simple stud earrings, simple stud earrings.
Do
So
you
I
know
knew
what that
every
business
single
is
person
called?
would have it.
Do you know what that business is called today?
Well, that's what they call drop shipping, right?
Exactly. That's what I was trying to get at. That so obviously you know that on Shides TV we talk a lot about different businesses and we talk about how to start with no money and a
Yes.
lot of that stuff. And dropshipping is something I've not
Yes.
talked about. But the thing is, I feel that when you are in a difficult situation and you start to think outside the box, the solutions that come to you, you
Yeah.
don't need to know the name of what it's called, but just use your
Yes.
brain and take opportunities. And I really love the story that you've told me because it just shows that you were willing to try something and it
Yes.
worked.
I think entrepreneurs today, just to mention, I think they have a better opportunity to build their businesses because now we have coaches, we have communities like She Dares to Succeed to grow and groom. I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't even know what drop shipping was. Facebook ads had just started. Many people were not doing it. I had to learn everything thinking. I had to learn everything thinking. Now you don't have to think so much. You can just look for a coach to help you out. You can join a community to help you out. I had to do all the struggle alone. I remember every single profit I was getting that time, I was putting it into the home because we didn't have anything. We didn't have anything. So we had to manage the home and manage the business and make sure the business doesn't die. I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know how to manage my finances. So I fell flat on my face so many times. And the successes I have in business are due to the failures I had and I faced upfront. So I would fail and then I'll get up and say, I'm going again. I'm going to get you this time. And I'll fix my mistakes, go again and fall flat on my face. I didn't have so much help as at that time. There were not many people around doing coaching like we have today, not many communities around. She Dares to Succeed wasn't around. I'm
You
sure
know,
if they were around, I would
let me
have.
tell you, let me tell you something. I mean, and I don't want to take away from this interview because really what we're going to be discussing is so much different. But when we're on the subject, I mean, I said to somebody that when I was starting 5 years ago, I was the person at her kitchen table, solidly confused. You know, there's a difference between when you're confused and when you're about how to start a business. And I didn't have people to ask questions. I didn't have friends who were in business. Everybody was working and everybody couldn't understand why I didn't want to
Yeah.
work. So, there's one thing that happens when you have support. It just helps you. But that doesn't mean that if you don't have support,
Yeah.
you can't make it, it's just going to be that much more tasking and difficult and whatnot. But I want to ask you something.
Yes.
Do you remember um, how long it took from when you put up your first picture to when you made your first sale? Do you remember?
Um, it took 3 weeks actually. Um, 3 weeks, 3 long weeks of hunger. And I remember I used to get cocoa, this cocoa powder. I used to get some of them, and I just put it in water, and I'll leave the food for my husband. And I'll say, I don't feel like eating. And then he really wouldn't understand that it was just hunger. And a lot of times I wouldn't want to get him depressed. So I wouldn't tell him there's nothing else to eat. I just, okay, say this is what we're having tonight. And then we just nod and understand. And all of a sudden it came in. I remember he just had 1,000 naira. That was $2.50. And when I asked him for it, he just trusted the process. I don't know why he gave that money to me, but he did, and I'm so glad he did. And that was, it was a long wait, but it was worth it.
Thank God for good men, because I can imagine he hadn't made money. So I'm guessing that Sharpstone started to scale from there. So
yes,
get on Facebook marketing.
All right. So late 2015. I realized that I was still getting orders from the e-commerce platform, but I realized I needed to do more. It wasn't just enough. It wasn't just enough. I didn't want to keep staying on the same level and waiting for someone else to do my marketing for me. So if things don't work well on the e-commerce platform, that's it. If things work well, that's it. So I wanted a little bit of control when it came to my marketing and the kind of sales and kind of people that I would meet. So I went on Facebook and I tried Facebook ads, and that was where my journey started in 2015. And it was great. But it was, sort of trial and error. Sometimes you do it and it works. Sometimes you lose all the money you made the previous month. Sometimes, it was just very awkward. And at that time, after some time, coaches started coming up. So I started to listen to people say, it's a trial and error thing. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. And so I took it that way. I took Facebook as something that you are never sure of anyway. So you just keep trying it out. And it made me play small until one day something got into me. This was last year, August. And I said, you know what? I think I'm confident enough to do this. And I put in $3,000, which was what my business was worth. It was the liquid in my business. And I just put it into ads, and I ran ads through the month thinking, I'll make the money back. And that was the best loss of my life. It was the best, let me say, the best loss of my life, because that completely crashed my business. I had to let go of staff. I'd already scaled. We're still, I had staff. We're working from home, my house at that time. We had moved from the small place we're living. We had moved into a better space. So I took one of the rooms out, and I was doing just business in that room. And I employed staff who were sales associates that were answering clients, taking client orders, helping clients with their orders, So I had to let go of everyone. And then I was flat on my face again. And I just didn't know what went wrong. And I realized, oh, this Facebook ads thing, it can't be this way. You can't keep losing all and making it and losing it. I don't think the owner of this platform wants it to be that way. I don't think the owner of this platform wants it to be a gamble, because I had just gambled away my entire business. Remember, I started with just $2, and I was able to roll it over and scale to having $3,000, and it was all gone. My 6 years work was gone in a flash.
You lost $3,000.
Yes, in one go.
In one go.
Yes.
How were you standing? How didn't you pass out?
I'm telling you, a lot of times I cried. It was like I had lost a baby. My hands were shaking. I had an infant with me, but well, not an infant, a toddler. And I was flat on my face. I didn't know how to support the home. My husband had already started working, but he was not, it was I was giving him a lot of support. So it was shaky for everyone. We're used to living on two separate streams of income, and now we're just relying on him. So it started to tell on him as well. It was very tough. And I just couldn't take it anymore. Remember that thing I have about never say die, just keep going. I just knew I just had to keep going. And I told myself that this same mistake that cost me so much, I need to learn it. I need to learn from my mistake. Because if I don't learn from my mistake, I'm going to repeat this mistake in future. And it may be bigger than this. So I want to learn from my mistake because I believe this happened for a reason. And so I decided to learn. I decided to learn it. And that's how I stumbled into the world of being a Facebook ads expert.
Wow. What an incredible story. I don't know how you were standing because I trust myself. I would have been bawling my eyes out. And I don't.
I did bawl my eyes out.
I would have had the confidence to try that again since it was money. But I want to ask you a question though. Why didn't you stop the ads midway or something if you saw that you were losing so much money?
Okay, so the way Facebook ads works is that especially if you it's like it's postpaid. So you run ads for many accounts. You run ads first before you pay up. So in my case, I was running ads, but I didn't realize I was not making enough. I didn't realize. Again, remember I told you I didn't have any idea on how to manage finance. I was just throwing up in the air. So somebody pays today, pays $20 today, but I'm not realizing I'm spending $100 per day. So it's time to pay up again in the middle of the month. I gather everything I've made and I push it in, thinking the ads are working. After all, I'm making sales. But I wasn't able to calculate that it wasn't enough. So, that's why whenever I'm talking about Facebook ads, it's more than just knowing how to use the tool. You have to know your business numbers as well. And you have to have, that's why I love what She Dares to Succeed does. You have to have a community of people talking about different things. I had no clue. I was one of these standalone. You can learn it all on Google. You can learn it all on YouTube, all by yourself. So that was the kind of mentality I had.
There's something
yes.
By yourself, right? This is such good stuff. And I like the fact that you're talking about knowing your finances. Because last month on She Dares, we obviously talked about finances, knowing your numbers, knowing your business numbers. And it's something that was still continuing, because I find that a lot of entrepreneurs do not know anything about the figures that actually make up their business success. What is your turnover? What is your profit? What was your total revenue? What is your return on your investment? All these numbers are they're important for you to know. And then even when it comes to the personal finance area, I find that many of the women entrepreneurs that I meet, they don't have a budget. They just spend money as it comes, hoping that they are in good financial standing. But one thing that I have learned over time is nothing happens by chance. So it's very powerful that you've also mentioned that a lot of people go into business not having a clue about the numbers and they just stumble around in the dark. Now, the truth is that it works for some people. It works for some people.
Well, yes.
Eventually, by the time they find out that they were making mistakes, they are not so, far gone. But for you, losing...
Yes, it's not as bad as...
Exactly.
losing a business.
$3,000, which meant your entire business, is actually not a joke. But I want to ask you...
Yes.
I know it was a tough time. There's no point asking because, but how did...
We were on the verge of losing our home at a time. I remember there was a time we had been given an eviction notice by the landlord, and I remember just sitting down and just crying. and just crying and telling myself it's all your fault. I remember so many times I would get depressed. And I think one person that helped was my mentor at that time. He said something that actually made me get up. And he said, you learn in two ways. It's either you pay for it to learn the knowledge, or you pay for it through your mistakes.
How
Okay.
did you then go from losing all this money to then learning how to run Facebook ads the right way?
Um, the the confidence I had was that I started from scratch once and I can do it again. That was the first thing I told myself. And this time around, I had $100. Now, remember, I started with just $2 the last time, and now I had $100. So I knew, okay, I could do it. Since I did it with just $2, I could do it. And then I invested $50 into a Facebook ad training. And I started to implement. So I'll learn something, I will implement, and then it will produce results. I'll learn something and then implement. I remember in September, I paid for a $400 course. In August, I paid for a $50 course. I was able to roll over. Then I went again, I paid for a $400 course. And I remember being kicked out because I didn't have the balance to pay. I didn't have the balance to pay. I thought I was going to make enough money to, quickly get the balance and quickly pay up. And I didn't, so I got kicked out. I remember very well. And in my own side of town, we don't have credit cards. You don't see credit cards easily. So I had to pay for everything with my money. And then I didn't want to ask my husband because I knew he was going through a lot, supporting the home and everything. I remember telling you that we were given an eviction notice. So he had to pay rent, he had to take care of the home. So I was just on my own. But the little I was able to learn, I kept putting it back in and putting it back in and putting it back in. And with every time I put money back in, I spent almost half of my profit learning. I was paying a coach.
So at the time you said back your profits, what changed?
Yes. First of all, I knew I was doing profits because I was now recording my numbers.
Okay.
I was recording every sale. I was recording every item sold. So now I could see my revenue. I could see my profit. I could track my expenses, what I was spending on ads, what I was spending advertising. I could actually see it now. So I knew how and when to scale. You see, the problem was never with the tool. The problem was how I was handling my business. So a lot of people will go into Facebook ads and say, if Facebook ads is not working for you, then it's your targeting, it's your ad copy, it's something, it's always something. But one of the first things a business owner needs to look at when it comes to Facebook ads is how you are using the tool to grow your business, because Facebook ads is a tool. It's not a strategy. It's the strategy that makes it work. It's the strategy that makes your marketing work. And that strategy is unique from business to business. So I never lost it anymore. It's over a year now. The journey is over a year since I started, and I never lost to ads anymore. I was able to scale my business, I think from February of this year to August, I made $50,000 in revenue from a $5,000 ad. And that was just because I was able to combine my business growth and the use of Facebook ads to build something really powerful for me. So that was exactly what happened.
Essentially, Sharon, you're saying that with Facebook ads, you've been able to 10x what you put in.
Yes.
The business. And that is so powerful. That is amazing growth. 10 times what you put in is the best result you can get from any kind of business. I don't care whether it's real estate,
yes,
or whatever, but that is amazing. So, I hear when you say it wasn't the tool from the beginning, but you wouldn't have known that if you hadn't paid to learn it.
Yes, if I didn't Somebody asked me how much have I paid in the last 1 year to learn Facebook ads alone, and it's over $10,000.
That's an investment.
So
So I mean, I say
yes.
wow, but it's an investment. It just shows where you are in your mindset towards your business. Because I see a lot of entrepreneurs who they are even reluctant to put £10 into their business. And then you start wondering, if you don't put anything into this business, you're not going to get anything out of it. Because the truth is, just the advice you get from somebody who has been there can transform your business overnight. So I'm amazing, amazing. I'm so happy to hear such a result.
I always say that when you want to scale a business, any business, whether it's online or offline, you cannot scale a business um, bigger than you. Your business cannot be bigger than you. So the first thing you invest in is actually yourself. You have to invest in yourself. So whenever I'm paying for a course, I see it as investing in myself, because I am the brain box of the business. I am the strategist. Every thought, every quality of thought leads to the quality of my business. So if I need to improve my business, then I improve the quality of my thought first before I see the results in my business. Now, I spent over $10,000 for Facebook ads alone. I was also learning about business growth. I was learning a lot of things, but for 6 months, I was spending just $5,000, despite spending to learn. But at the end of the day, when I make the calculation, I got my money back. Even though I didn't spend up to $10,000, I didn't spend up to $10,000 in the past 1 year driving Facebook ads, and that's the honest truth. But I spent over $10,000 learning the way to make my marketing work, and it paid off. And the knowledge stays with me. I don't have to give it back. The knowledge is mine. And that's what I teach entrepreneurs every day. So the quality of your thought, it will always improve the quality of your business. And you can only improve the quality of your thought by learning. That's just the best way to do
I
it.
was saying to somebody just this past week, because obviously we're in December and we're heading to the end of the year. And I said, well, my personal development fund for 2021 is going to be X amount. It sounded like a ridiculous amount. I don't even want to share it because I know people are going to start typing like, but I said, this is my personal development fund for next year. And I also shared the vision with my husband, and he said, isn't that too much? And I had to respond and say, you know what? It is only too much if I do it and I don't see results. But for
Yes.
into my business, into developing myself, into learning the next level. Because I tell people that, you only know what you know. You cannot know what you don't know, and you cannot manifest what you don't know. Right? I know that we're Christians.
Yes.
I'm a Christian. I know that we pray and we ask the Holy Spirit.
I'm a Christian too.
But at the end of the day, it's not going to drop on you like a bag of manna, right? You're going to still
even the Bible. Yes, even the Bible says that the Holy Spirit brings to your remembrance things. So the Holy Spirit works on the information you know. So if you don't have anything for him to work with, he works with nothing. So even as Christians, I mean, you just have to get information. You just need that information.
And the best
so
way is
it works all the way. So a lot of times, yes, and find a community. It's the reason I love she dares to succeed. And I'm not saying this because you're here or you're my friend. I'm saying it because it's true. It's because you can find support from someone who has been there and done that. And you can also see people who are having the same experience as you are having, because you can be going through a personal struggle, and the only way it can work out for you is to see that someone else is going through the same thing, or someone else just went through it just last month. whenever I share my story, people are thinking, oh, but that was last year. We want something. How did you go through the pandemic? How did you? But I'm like, I went through the pandemic. I actually did. I still scaled despite the pandemic. So people want to see real life stories. And this is what the community offers. You can see other people, you can grow with other people, you can get accountable, because honestly, if you're bawling your eyes out, you have to be accountable to someone. Someone has to hold your hand.
So, thank you so much for saying it. I feel like you are even explaining the benefit of She Dares as a community rather than just, just talking, because if it was coming from you, people would be like, yeah, obviously she has to say that. But hearing other entrepreneurs share their stories, I know what I went through when I was starting out. I failed miserably at my fashion business. I was trying to start a fashion business and that crumbled because I couldn't figure it out. I was on Google trying to learn it. I didn't have friends that I could ask. I didn't have mentors. And so that business failed. It never took off. I had a website and all. I invested so much in it. So thank you so much for shedding light that, everybody's story is different, but there's a general thread through all of our stories, which is definitely need support. You need to invest in yourself. Shewa, I want to say thank you for being here, for honoring this invitation, for sharing so much wisdom and sharing your story. I know a lot of people are, the cringe when it comes to sharing their story because they don't want people to see through some struggles. But so I really appreciate that you shared all of this. And for everybody who is watching, Shay was going to be in the She Dares Inner Circle in another week's time. And she's going to be teaching more in-depth stuff about Facebook advertising and how you can 10x your business income using marketing with Facebook or marketing on Facebook. And I cannot wait. I'm super excited because I'm also going to be in front row with my pen and my notebook, taking all the information and all the wisdom. So this is your invitation. If you are a business owner or you are an aspiring entrepreneur and you definitely know that you are tired of playing small and you want to take it to the next level and you have been thinking of how to scale your business, especially if you've been thinking of how to scale with Facebook advertising, I invite you to come and join the Inner Circle because Sharon's going to be with us, giving all the wisdom, and she's going to be holding people's hands and, taking us through what we need to do to get to the next level. Besides, 2021 is only a few days away. What a fantastic way to start a new year. I can't think of any way better to start a new year knowing that you are giving your all to your business and you're essentially building the life that you've been dreaming about. Should say, Sheung, oh my love, I really appreciate
Thank you for having me here. And I'm looking forward to being the Inner Circle. I'm going to be sharing strategies. I'm going to be sharing trends because a lot of trends, a lot of things changed with the Facebook ads platform this year. And there are more trends that are coming up in 2021. I'll be sharing trends that will be coming up for 2021. So if you want to scale your business in 2021 using Facebook ads, you want to grow your business to what you really want to, then please join the Inner Circle. I'll be there through this month and I've been there. I've lost money in ads before and I've come out of it. I know how you can do the same and create the business of your dreams. I will see you there.